random questions. At school, I used to edit Counter-Strike a lot before editing so fun. It depends if you can get in contact with the right people. I was lucky enough and got in contact with a few IT guys, and they've been helping me. They've been hooking up with me with a lot of good contracts lately. But it's hard to build a you have to sort of like build up a reputation first for video editing before people come to you. Otherwise, you have to go out and look for work. So it's very, very hard. My favorite pie? It's not really like a pie. It's probably like a cobbler or something, like a berry cobbler or something. But I haven't had pie in a really long time. Pumpkin pie is pretty good. What other games do you play? I play quite a bit of other games, just not too many on stream. Tomorrow I'll be playing some old games or some party games or Cards Against Humanity or something pretty funny for you guys to watch, because tomorrow is sort of like a random stream day. It's where we stream some random games or what we're really feeling down for. Got a question from NobGY asking if I'm EU or US, and the answer to that is I play both. I just don't have an EU account that has any monks at level 100 yet, but they are both at level 90. Got another question from BarJKEU. He says, when can you post your one-shot macro? The answer to that is I do not have a one-shot macro. It is just a lot of toys bound with my unused trinket. So just go into your interface, bind some toys that are instant cast to your trinket, and set up a macro that way. Make it really, really flashy. You're tripping if you like crunchy cookies. I don't really care for them, man. I like the soft ones. Andy asks, have you ever considered having homosexual relations with me? I don't know, man. Your APM is way too high for me. Never. I don't even know, man. I'm tired. Can't even think of anything funny to say to that. The answer would probably be no. What comps do you think will get asked from General Scales? Someone played StarCraft. Not StarCraft, Star Fox. Star Fox Adventures. Good game. What comps do you think will work best for Windwalker Monks in 2s and 3s this patch? I'm running Resto, Sham, Windwalker Monk in 2s. The answer to that is pretty much the same as last season. However, I think that caster comps with Windwalker Monks are probably going to be better than DK comps, although they're still really good. So the top 3 are still going to probably be Windwalker DK, Windwalker Shadow Priest, and Windwalker Locke. Indy. Got asked a question from Rich Teamless saying, which comp do you prefer pushing raiding with? Please tell me why. And the answer to that is I honestly prefer running with Windwalker Shadow Priest because of the challenge of the comp. Because there is so much coordination in the comp as well as Drew Fair. So it's a very fun comp to run. Very hard to run, but very rewarding when ran correctly. Okay, man. Got asked a question from Tobias Alstro something Cagier. Don't really know how to pronounce that. It says, hey Zwen, I want to hear how Windwalker monks are doing in a 1v2 because I want to earn some gold doing arena carries. Where I carry people in arenas so that they can gear their conquest gear. How will monks do this patch? Do you think they can do it easily or are they going to struggle? Honestly, man, in arenas, it's a tough call. At low MMR, you could probably do it, but at high MMR, definitely no. Because the thing about 2s is that Windwalkers struggle in 2s enough as it is once you reach a certain MMR, because you're going to get kited a lot. You're rarely going to be able to catch up to your opponent, and a lot of comps and 2v2s can just pretty much outplay you. 1v1s, if like a DK knows what he's really doing, it's not like Mr. Pandaria. You have Windwalker monks have a lot of counters right now, so I wouldn't say that they're the best for doing carries for gold. You could still do it at low MMR and do fine, but once you hit around 1700 in 2v2s, you're probably going to start struggling a little bit. So I'm actually making my macros for my priest. Nice, man. Do you enjoy monks more in MOP or WoD? I probably enjoy monks more in MOP, to be honest. We had a lot more defensives, and we could stay in people's face a lot, and we can also win against every single class in a 1v1 fight. Now it's a lot harder for us. What class do you think is the hardest to beat in a 1v1 as a Windwalker monk? It's between like a really good DK or a Feral, I'd say. For me at least. Those are probably the two classes that I would have most trouble with. XR asked, how do you record, for example, the Tiger's Peak cinematic? That is a camera tool called Free Farsight. Just be responsible when using it. I believe it's not working for 6.2, but hopefully they'll update it soon. Do you use Chi Explosion as available, or do you hold it for the dot? The way that I use Chi Explosion, man, is I use it as a filler. So pretty much the same way that you'd use Blackout Kick, except you got to be mindful about the amount of chi that you have at any given time, because if you need to get a Rising Sun Kick off on your target for that debuff and you Chi Explosion first with 4 chi, it'll consume all 4 of your chi before you can get that debuff on, and then if you're energy starved, you'll have to wait a few more seconds to get your debuff up on the target. So it's more situational than it is just, you know, for the dot. The only time that I would use it to where it's not really situational is like in the beginning of an arena match. If we're versing something that is not a stealther, I would probably pop my Expel Harm and kind of LOS and pop Chi Explosion to build some early stacks before I actually went in there. What is the standard talents that you take as a Windwalker monk this patch? Is it 2-hand stronger than dual wield now? So the first question, the talents that I take are, I guess damaging talents. I don't take Hurricane Strike anymore. It's not that I don't like it. Hurricane Strike's a really good talent, but I don't really care for it too much over Chi Explosion. I've always preferred Chi Explosion over Hurricane Strike. It's just that in 6.1, Hurricane Strike was really good, but even still in 6.1, if I ever ran arenas, I would still go with Chi Explosion due to the fact that most classes have CC slows and snares integrated with their normal rotation, so you're pretty much going to be RP walking the entire time. And on top of that, you build stacks really fast, so you're able to burst more often. The second question is if two-handers are stronger than dual wield. The thing about two-handers versus one-handers is that if you were to choose a one-handed for dual wielding, the amount of damage difference is very small. So you can choose whatever one you're more comfortable with. However, a one-handed is a lot, I mean, two-handers are a lot better due to the fact that it increases your actual spell damage, as well as you can still get both your weapon procs off of it, and the passive Way of the Monk is better for PvP. For one-handed, it increases your auto attacks, and then for two-handed, it increases your auto attack damage, or your auto attack damage. And for, I think I got that wrong, but I know that oh, it increases your auto attack speed with two-handed, and the two-handed is gonna be more damage overall, because the way that the one-handed used to be is it used to be like 50% auto attack damage, but they nerfed it down to 25%, and it better equalize the two. And in PvP, you're never going to be able to catch up to your target 100% of the time, so that auto attack damage is pretty much null and void when it comes to PvP, so the slight buff to your spells is better overall, if that makes any sense. But again, it's not really that much of a difference. Hey, what's up, man? Are there any cookie cutter talents for Windwalker monks now? The only cookie cutter talents I would say for PvP are probably Chi Brew and maybe Chi Torpedo. Not really sure on that one yet. Like, you could still probably use Invoke Swen or Rushing Need Wind and make it viable, but Chi Torpedo is just really, really good right now. Other than that, you know, the other talents are pretty much whatever you choose. You know, the 45 tier with the stuns, they're all pretty good. The diffuse magic, I wouldn't take Dampen Harm because there are not that many spells right now that can damage you for more than 20% of your health. Yeah, there are, but there's not that much of them. A lot of classes have a lot of damage, but they're not like big numbers. They're more like little numbers adding over time really fast. But the first talent tree is probably like between like Clarity and Tiger's Lust, depending on what you're running. Let's say you're running with a paladin, he has freedoms that he can put on you, and he doesn't have to save freedoms for himself. He can use Clarity with Chi Torpedo, so you get 3 rolls. The last talent tier, I would take anything other than Serenity. So Hurricane Strike or Chi Explosion, whatever one you're most comfortable with. Serenity is a good talent, but it's easy to CC through Serenity. So that's what I would do. But not too much cookie cutters as far as talents. Glyphs. The only cookie cutter glyph I would say for PvP is your Touch of Death. You can substitute Touch of Karma glyph in a 3v3s match if you know for a fact that they're going to go on you and you're going to be at least in melee range of one target at all times. So if you're versing like a turbo cleave or anything like a melee cleave, you could probably substitute the Touch of Karma glyph for like maybe a defensive glyph. So you could probably do that. But very rarely would you want to substitute Touch of Karma out, just because it's a little bit better to be safe than sorry. But you can do that. But the Touch of Death is absolutely vital, because you don't want to be saving 3 Chi and slowing down your rotation and slowing down your damage in order to secure a kill. Chi Explosion, do you want to have at least 3 before using it? Yes and no. Yes, it helps to stack 3 Chi before using it, but in a normal rotation, it's very hard to save up 3 Chi when you want to use it, so just use it as filler. Again, it takes practice to use Chi Explosion really effectively, but use it as a filler. Make sure to keep your Tiger Palm and Rising Sun Kick debuff up on your targets, and as long as you keep those 2 up, if you have extra Chi to spend, use it. Like, just dump it. Even if it is 1 Chi, and you're not connected to your target, what you could probably do is you can use Expel Harm if you're full health for an extra 2 Chi, which costs less energy than a jab, and then you can use that to make it a 3 Chi Explosion for a little bit more damage in Brew. Because right now I'm using Chi Explosion with at least 3 Chi when I first pop my CDs in Brew, and then Chi Burst. Yeah. Yeah, but something you can do is you can use Expel Harm in order to Chi Explosion a little bit more often. Can you give Chi Burst tips? I'm trying to make the swap from Chi Wave. The only thing that you have to be careful about Chi Burst is that when using that ability, you're very susceptible to getting kicked. So, yes, it's a 0.9 second cast. However, if anything hits you, the pushback is very, very strong with that ability. So, that 0.9 second cast can turn into a 3 second cast if you have a melee on you, or even a caster. So, if that 0.9 second cast becomes like a 3 second cast, you're more susceptible to getting interrupted. So what I would do is I would practice bursting first. So make sure they're locked down on a leg sweep. Very rarely will you use a chi burst outside of a stun. So pretty much you use it every single time you pop a leg sweep. You leg sweep, you use your on-use trinket, make sure your Rising Sun Kick debuff is up on your target, and then pop chi burst. Do you have a standard way to open and build stacks or no? It depends on what you're doing. So if you're like in an arena, what I usually do is I pop both my Chi Brew in the beginning to try to get up to 8 Tigers of Brew before the match even starts. And to also start putting them on cooldown. After that, while I'm catching up to my target, I'll probably pop like an Expel Harm for more Chi, and then I'll Chi Explosion. So if you double Chi Brew, by the time you catch up to your target, you should have like 4 Chi, because 1 will disappear. You'll get 5 Chi, but 1 will disappear as you're catching up to your target. And then you get a 4 Chi Explosion. So by that time, you should at least have 10 stacks. Even if you get like really crappy procs with your Chi Explosion, or Chi Brew, sorry. And then you can burst really fast. If you're lucky, you'll get up to like 14 stacks. So then you can burst right off the bat. And then burst again if you need to. But I use Expel Harm a lot and use that with Chi Explosion when I'm getting kited. It really helps. I saw top-rated Monk use Clarity because Chi Torpedo does so much damage. Yes. Now, the only time that you would take Clarity is if you were like running with a paladin that can freedom you and he doesn't mind freedoming you, or you're versing something that doesn't have a lot of roots. So if you're versing something that doesn't have a lot of roots, you can definitely take Clarity. However, if you're versing something that has a lot of roots and you need that Tiger's Lust, like let's say you're versing a high rated Boomy Mage, what the Boomy will try to do is he'll try to root beam your healer, and the healer can't dispel the roots, or the paladin can't freedom inside the beam. So what you can do is you can Tiger's Lust your healer out of that beam. And I've done that a lot of times at high rated back in MOP, and it definitely saved my healer or one of my teammates. And you do the same thing in this patch. Again, I haven't been high rated this season or any time in Warlords, but I know that damage is even higher right now, so it means even more if you can get your healers out of those roots, because solar beams last like 8 seconds, and your paladin is pretty much gonna be out of commission for 8 seconds. So if you can get him out of that beam, the sooner the better. What's up, one? Will be streaming tomorrow night? Yeah, dude, we're gonna be doing a random game night tomorrow, so we're gonna be playing random games and probably some funny games, maybe Cards Against Humanity, yes. Maybe some Damned or something like that. What's up, Zwan? Is gnome worth race changing to these days? I don't know. It's a gnome. I don't really care for gnomes.
Not worth no matter what.
But if you honestly like playing gnomes, then you should do it. The thing is that if you ask me, ratios don't really matter. Like, yeah, they buff you in PvP and maybe PvE, but it's not like game breaking. If you're a good enough player and you're willing to put forth the effort to get better, you can definitely make any race work. For example, there was a Windwalker Monk that was a 2900 rated Windwalker Monk back in Mists of Pandaria before gnomes got buffed in their racials and he was a gnome. So I mean, if you put forth the effort, you can make it work. Thyrads is a good friend of mine. He was a Worgen Balance Druid when the race to go would have preferably been a Night Elf. So honestly, if you are playing a race that you enjoy playing, and yes, there's Teamorph, but if you're playing a race that you honestly enjoy playing, I feel like you perform better, if that makes any sense. So again, it's up to you whether you want those extra little buffs with the racials, but I really don't think it makes a huge difference. Yeah, it's sad that he's not playing WoW that much anymore.
Yeah.
Garv could be the next Thyras. Got a question from Rodolfo Gontijo. I am terrible at pronouncing things. He says, "Hey, Zwen, are you? Hey, Zwen, are you? How do you change your appearance to a Worgen? That is, I'm using Teamorph to do that. So all you have to do is Google Teamorph. I highly doubt that you're gonna get in trouble for it, even though if it's going against the Blizzard TOS." You're not going to get in trouble for Teamorph. If it's your only offense, you're not going to get in trouble for doing it. And if Blizzard for some reason does catch you using it, they're not going to straight up ban your account. They'll probably send you a message asking you to stop. And if you refuse to reply, they'll probably just ban you for an hour. Like, it's not like, oh my gosh, you're using Teamorph? I'm just going to fucking cancel your account. I highly doubt they'd do that. I actually know a few people that work for Blizzard that they have told me that they just don't fucking care if you use Teamorph. There's a few GMs that are kind of purists that do really care, but they're not gonna catch you doing it. It's like a 64-bit inject. Blizzard really only looks for 32-bit injects because those are for bots. Those are what bots use. They use 32-bit injects, and Teamorph's a 64-bit. Is your mouse bugging or are you just moving really fast? That's actually not my mouse.
It's a lie.
No, that's not my mouse. I don't know what that is.
That's weird.
Like my mouse is right. My mouse is right here, and that's just something. Go away. There we go. Have you considered pushing rating this season? I have, but it's not like on my top priority. It's not on my top priority. If I find a good team to run with, then I might do it, but it's not like something that I would lose sleep over, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't... Like, getting ranked 1 would be a personal achievement, but it's not like something I would really say, oh yeah, I got rank 1. You know, just be something to say, oh hey, I got rank 1, but just for myself. I don't know, I'm kind of confusing right now.
It's not to do this thing, it's just to do the exact same thing that I just said. You know, only in my presence.
Yeah.
I'm a dick.
I don't really know how to rephrase that, you know?
Yeah, no, I got you. It's sort of like a personal thing, not something you need to brag about to people.
Why couldn't I say that?
Because, you know, yeah.
Oh my god. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to type them in chat. I'm just looking through YouTube to see if there are any comments I might read. Why the name Zwen? That's actually has a story behind it. It's not really anything that impressive, but back when Mists of Pandaria was going on beta, I played beta a lot, and the first time I tried out monks, I fell in love with the class, and I saw that they had a talent called Invoke Zwen, and I thought it would be funny if there was just 2 Zwens there. So I would confuse people, and then yeah, it's a stupid reason. Later on, I realized that Blizzard fucking stole my name and then made a Celestials one. Those bastards. Completely 100% original, and they stole it.
100%.
Yeah.
Fucking sue them. Copyright.
Seriously. Oh yeah, I actually didn't know they were Celestial until like Live was out and I was questing. I was like, oh, oh, this is a problem. And by then I already had a few YouTube videos up, so I just decided to keep the name. I'm not really good when it comes to making names, so I just kept it and just became a thing, I guess. Yeah, but that's pretty much why. It's not anything. It's not anything impressive. It just I tried to be an idiot while I was on beta, and it just stuck. Hey, let's just summon 2 Zwens out of the field. It's gonna confuse people. Strategies. It actually works for a bit, because I remember I was running with Independence and he actually got confused because I was watching a few of his videos and he was like tab targeting. He like made heal Zwen macros, and like his macros were targeting my pet instead of me.
Oh wow. So
in a sense it worked, but not really the way I wanted. But it's pretty funny. I don't know if he remembers that, but it's definitely a thing that happened. I highly disagree on your Teamorph comment. I mean, it's up to you whether or not you want to use it. Nothing. But I've actually talked to people that work for Blizzard. Like, the thing about Teamorph is that they are people that agree with it, and then there's people that disagree with it. There's GMs that say that you can use it, and there's GMs that say that you can't use it. Like, but I personally don't know anyone that has ever been banned for using Teamorph. Like, the only time that someone's probably been banned for using Teamorph is if they had a high offense, like botting or account sharing, and Blizzard also saw they were using Teamorph. So they would just throw that on there just because. Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable using the program, you don't have to use it. Like, I'm saying that you will most likely not get in trouble. I highly doubt it. I've been using it for years and I've never gotten in trouble for it. Friends have been using it for years, they've never gotten in trouble for it. But it's up to you.
Felix, read the whole message.
Oh, I know. I'm not done reading the message. It's just like, I'm just saying in general, you know? There's another LEDs that are playing and stuff that changes to and effect. Yeah. No, but I'm just saying that there's still people out there that will say that stuff. That's why it's like talking about T-Morph is just like, it's kind of hard because you tell people that it's like, oh hey, you're probably not getting in trouble, and they're like, but this guy said, and it's like, well, this, I've talked to people too, and they said no, and it's like, but this guy said, I don't know.
It's a lot of back and forth.
It really is. So it's pretty much you just have to tell them. It's like, look, man, if you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. T-Morph is a program that you can download that injects your WoW client with something that only you can see, but it allows you to transmog any gear, morph into like any character in the game. You could be like Illidan and go into Battlegrounds. You could transmog any item in the game.
I'll be right back again.
Alright, man. You can wield flamethrowers. Is this true? Didn't you say that you couldn't find the code though? Yeah, pretty much. You can also change the spell effect of all your spells. So if you were like, what I did a long time ago was I had my monk and I would change the spell effect of jab to Dragon's Roar. So every time I would use jab, it would do the Dragon's Roar animation. It's pretty funny. That's pretty much what you can do though. Alright guys, tomorrow's gonna be so quiet, yeah. Trying to look for comments on YouTube, but I can't find any more. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a sort of random game night, I guess. So whatever we really feel like doing, whether Carve is here and whether everyone's here, we could play like a Cards Against Humanity stream. You guys can join along in as well if you want. So if we have like extra room, you're more than welcome to join for like Drawful, or I think they added a new game to Jackbox Party Pack, so that's gonna be pretty fun. Yeah, tomorrow's pretty much our free day. It's where we just stream random games, and we'll see what's going on. But other than that, I'm gonna shut off the stream for today. I haven't really had a good day today, so I need to go get some rest and just kind of hang out for the rest of the night. But yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Sorry it was a pretty short stream. But other than that, yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again, guys. Just released a macro gun on YouTube if you guys are curious, but other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take it easy, guys. Go watch Soda Poppin'. He's like playing scary games.